Welcome to Salsa Talk edition number 2, and the question of today is, why do men forget everything once they're on the dance floor? Now guys, do you know this? Do you recognize this? You go out on a party and you start dancing and you know you have all those moves, and one way or the other you just cannot remember them once you have a lady in your arms and you start dancing. Now why is that? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you exactly what happens, and I'm going to use my flip over to draw it. Now ladies, have you noticed that when you dance with a guy that many times one way or the other he's not totally in the moment, there is no eye contact, and he's not totally connected with you nor the music? Have you wondered why that is? Because a lot of women take that personal and they go like, maybe he doesn't like dancing with me. Maybe you recognize that, okay? And please place your comments below if you either find it interesting or that you even recognize some of those things that I'm telling you now. Now, what goes on, guys? What happens? Why do you forget so many moves once you're on the dance floor? And this goes for about 80% of all the dancers. Because I know there are some dancers, if you watch the best dancers on YouTube, they have everything. They are connected with the partner, they are connected with the music, they have a lot of fun, and they know thousands of moves, okay? But that's a very small percentage of very high-level dancers, which is very nice. But 80% of the world's population that is dancing on an intermediate level, and maybe some are still beginners, improvers, intermediate, and some are a bit more advanced, okay? So what happens, guys? When you are in a class, there's something very interesting happening. When you are in a class, the teacher is explaining you everything, and he's helping you with counting, and he's joining you doing the steps, and he goes 5, 6, basic step, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, crossbody lead, and he's giving you all these cueings, this repetitive counting, and you're filling up your database with the moves that he explained to you. So this is the rational side of your mind, okay? Ratio, which is much less emotional. Now, when does it become emotional? It's when you start practicing and practicing and practicing, and you start feeling it, okay? And then you get into the emotion of a move, and that's nice. Now, how does the teacher do that in the class? He brings you into another room where the music is, and it is the teacher that builds the bridge for you. By counting, by putting a slow song, the lights are on, so you can see everything very clearly. So this bridge to your emotion, where the music is, and where you have the connection with the music and with your partner, is in the other room. Now, what happens when you go to a party, guys? And this is what happens exactly. You go to a party, there is no instruction, there is nothing, and your database is non-accessible. Now, why is that? Now, guys, think about it for a second, because it's very obvious. The lights are down, the music is loud, the people look astonishing. You have all those great dancers which actually attract your attention. So it might even work quite dominating instead of inspiring. And you get in there and your database is not accessible. So now you go on the dance floor, and everything that is triggered, guys, is the part of your mind where it is total emotion. And your ratio is not working. So now you're on the dance floor with your partner. This happens a lot with guys. They're in the room with the music, and the guy starts doing his steps, and after 2 or 3 simple moves, he is just blank. There's nothing there, and he's looking for his moves. And as a lady, you can see that he's looking for move, because he's looking all over the place, and you can see him getting maybe a little bit insecure, and that's all because the database is non-accessible. Now, this is very interesting, and it used to happen with me a lot, okay? In the past, I used to go to parties, and I was like, how is it possible? I know I have so many moves, so what is going on here? So then I started looking for a solution, and there was one night that I decided to stay home, and I thought, you know what? Instead of keep going to parties and complaining afterwards, I thought, let me find a solution for this. Is there a solution? And of course, there is always a solution when you start seriously looking for it, okay? Let's say we have a follower and we have a leader, and the follower can also be a female. So let's say female and the man. So this is the leader, this is the follower. Okay, I know that we also have men dancing together and women dancing together, but for now, let's keep it simple. Female, male. They're dancing together. And the question that I asked myself when I decided to stay home one night because I kept getting frustrated, I thought, how many turns can I do with her in place? Because what I saw immediately when I drew it like this, I thought, okay, I can turn the lady in place number 1 in front of me, I can turn her on my left and I can turn her on my right. So I have 3 areas where I can turn the lady in. Now, how many turns can I give her? Well, there are only 2 ways. I can turn her clockwise and counterclockwise. So I said, okay, am I doing that? And the answer is yes. This is a single right turn, and this is a single left turn. And then I thought, okay, can I also do the same on my left? And the answer is yes, of course. Again, inside, outside. How do we call a turn inside? On my left, a crossbody turn inside. So then the other one is a crossbody turn outside. And the question was, am I doing that already? Yeah, I do that a lot, but I never saw it like this. Then on the other side, I thought, okay, does it also go for the other side? Which one is this? And I thought, that's interesting. We call this the enchufa. And I know, guys, there are more ways. There are more ways in doing those kind of turns. But in general, when most guys turn the lady to her left, that's done with the enchufa, which is very common in Cuban dancing. And this one, I didn't do this so many times, but we call this the reverse crossbody turn. Why reverse? Because it's on the other side, and it's actually this one and the outside are the same. This turn and this turn are for the ladies exactly the same. You just experience it in a different way because the guy moves to the other side. One time you're going on his right side and the other time to your left. And now the question comes, is this all? No, it's not all. But what I did, I took a video. This is a long time ago, guys. There was no YouTube in that time. So I had some videos recorded and I had those VHS tapes, which is very old. And I took my video recorder and I started playing a tape of 3 hours and I just started watching it. And I remember, just with a pen and paper and just watching the best dancers. And we had, who was there? There was Nelson Flores dancing with Edie the Salsa Freak. We had Ismael Otero. We had Super Mario. You had all those great dancers. And I started watching the video and I thought, okay. I saw Nelson Flores doing a move, which was a reverse crossbody turn, but he did it in many different ways. But it was the same turn. And what I found out after watching a few hours, you're going to be shocked, guys, is that 80% of everything that the best dancers that were there at that festival were doing consisted out of only 6 turns. You might go, really? Yeah, because what I found out, there are only 6 turns, and this might get confusing. Remember this, guys. So in place, on my left and on my right, 80%. Now look at this. So I thought, okay, 6 turns. But how many hand combinations? So I started figuring out there are 7 ways in holding each other's hands when you start dancing. I can use my left hand with the right hand of my partner. That's number 1. I can use my right hand with the left hand of my partner. That's number 2. Parallel hold is number 3. And then when I start changing my hands, right on right hand is number 4. Left on left hand is number 5. Double hand hold, right hand up, left hand down is number 6. And left hand up or right hand down is number 7, or vice versa. It doesn't matter, but there are a total of 7 hand holds. Now look at this, guys. So we had 6 turns. I call it the 6-turn pattern system. And we had 7 ways of holding hands. Now this is very interesting because then I thought, can I do all 7 hand holds with those 6 turns? And the answer was no. Some of them become very uncomfortable, especially on the intermediate level. When you're advanced, many times you can do all 7 hand holds, but I thought, for sure you can do 6. But I thought, you know what? Let me take only the ones that go very easy. Then I still have always a number of 5 hand holds that will always work with those 6 turns. So then I thought, okay, this is interesting. This leads up to a total of 30 options of doing a turn. Now I knew that when I went on the dance floor, I could only remember about 4 or 5 combinations. So I thought, well, if this is the case, then why the hell am I trying to remember all those moves? Why not just use this little system? And then I found out you can turn the lady under your arm. You can turn her on shoulder height, doing, for example, a shoulder check. Or you can bring her hand lower than her elbow, which many times leads into a wrap or leads into a hammerlock. So there are 3 levels of high and low. So let me draw 3 levels of high and low. So guys, you can imagine that when you do 30 turns times the 3 levels of high and low, you now have 90 options. And remember that each and every ending of a combination leads to a new option. So now you have 90 options. Whoa. So this is quite incredible. So now you have the solution, guys. It's almost like the Matrix. You know, you have two pills. Do you want, what was it, the blue or the red pill? Do you want to take the pill that brings you to Alice in Wonderland and you want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, or you want to stay in your own little world, in your database, trying to access it at a party, which is very hard to do, or you want to make it simple? Guys, this is simple, but it's not easy because you are probably already conditioned in doing something and doing especially your most favorite turns. That's why you end up doing the same turns with each and every partner. So again, guys, it's simple, but it's not easy. So I would suggest you putting it into practice and force yourself a little. So go out on the dance floor, use the system and just start practicing. And you will see that in no time, just like Neo, once he takes the pill, it's not easy when he gets out. He needs Neo training, okay? So once you start doing this, you will find out a few things. You don't have to remember 100 moves because you only remember 6 turns. You remember the 7 hand holds and you do the 3 levels of high and low. This is quite easy to remember. The second thing is, once you master this, even on an intermediate level, you will find out you will have much more time because you don't need to think so much about all your turn patterns and you have more time to connect to the music and to your partner. So you will have more time to listen to the music, maybe catch some breaks, maybe make a little stop, boom, and you have more time to have fun and enjoy the music. So guys, I hope you liked the story. I hope that you discovered something that you might not have known. If you have heard it before and you haven't applied it, then please guys, give it a try. It will change your life, including the life of all the ladies that will dance with you in the future. Okay guys, thank you so much. See you next time.